All right, what is going on? I just made an entire truck talk video and my GoPro broke. I don't know. Well, actually, I don't know what's all over it. It has powder all over it. But anyways, yeah, I filmed the truck talks and it just stopped recording all the time. Like it was just it would stop, it would stop, and I would start it again, and it'd stop, it'd stop. So I don't know what's wrong with it. But now I'm going to film a truck talks in my room. So room talk. So what I was talking about though is. Uh, I just made a TikTok about it, but the the power of letting God work through you, because he can only do for you like what he can do through you. So a lot of people ask, I want this, I want this, I want this to happen, I want this to change, I want this to change. Well, you have to be the channel that allows that change to happen. So basically, God hears your requests, but if you are not giving him the channel to bring that into your reality, it's never going to come. Right? That's as simple as it is. If you say you want to move, but you're not taking any steps, you're not having any faith in the fact that he will guide you through it, and you're not having any faith that it will all work out, and you are not moving that direction, you are not opening that channel to allow it to happen, right? So God has to flow through you. So how does he flow through you? You have to be open to whatever it is that he has for you. Like you have to be like, all right, like for me, I said, I want to move to Southern California. I want to move to like Huntington Beach, Costa Mesa, Newport, somewhere around there. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know exactly, when. I didn't know exactly how. I didn't know where. I really didn't know. I just knew I wanted to move down south. And so I wasn't trying to stress like, oh, well, rent's this much. How am I ever going to pay for this? Or what if this happens? What if this? The more I do that, the further you get from the goal. You have to be like, all right, this is where I'm going. Now you hold your mind on that image, and you allow God to do the work. Which sounds crazy, but it really is how it goes. He really does do the work, which is mind blowing. But like I don't know how to explain it. Like the opportunities, like I know I talked about it in my last video, but I wanted to move for the summer, but my brother, who I'm gonna get a place with, he has a lease till November, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be able to move to November because I'm not gonna pay $4,000 a month just for me to have an apartment, right? That's crazy. I was like, I'll just wait till November or something. And then my friend texts me and he's like, hey, my roommate's leaving June 1st, and I'm like, that's literally perfect timing. That's literally when I wanted to move. So like, you can't plan for these things, but you have to put out there what you want. You have to hold your mind on the image. You have to hold the image in your mind, and it will move into form. It will happen. It just takes time, and you have to trust that you probably don't know the way it's going to work. You probably don't know the exact path that is going to happen. You don't know how it's going to work out. But the way it works is when you get emotionally involved with this image, whatever it is, whatever you want to do, whatever change it is, when you get like when you emotionalize it, when you make it feel real, when you feel the feelings that you will feel when you live there, it basically communicates that to your spirit, to your subconscious mind, which then all your subconscious mind does is it transmutes that into the physical world in the easiest way possible. The easiest way, right? Things are not meant to be hard. Things are hard because people don't hold the image of what they want. They try to do it by force. Force negates. Force is not how you get anything in life. Force is how things get further away from you. If you want something in life, you have to let it happen. Is there something behind me? I keep seeing like something flying behind me. Like force negates. And so when you try to figure out all the little details, when you try to decide on exactly how everything's going to happen, you are forcing. You're using force. Force negates. You can't force in the spiritual world. You have to allow it to happen. You have to let it happen. So this is the recipe: is you decide on what you want. And I know I always say to be specific, but understand that when you're super specific, like when you decide what you want, you may not get something that exact thing, but it will be something better for you, if that makes sense. So like for me, I'm not moving into the exact apartment that I originally had wanted, but it's really a blessing because I'm going to be saving a ton of money on rent, and I'm going to be really close to where I wanted to be. So it's like figure out what you want, hold that image in your mind, but understand that you are going to not necessarily get that exact thing, but something equivalent to it. So you figure out what you want and you start moving in that direction. And you don't freak out about how it's going to work. What if this happens? What if that happens? You don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. I know it sounds crazy, but seriously, don't think about it. You just have to move. Just start doing it. Just start, being like, all right, I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm moving. I'm living here. I'm living here. I'm living here. And anytime my mind, like this is how I've kind of really sped things up recently. I've got a lot of things to move really quickly. Is anytime my mind tries to figure out the details, I just focus right back onto I already live there. I already live there. I already live there. It's already my reality. I don't try to fight it with, oh, well, how am I going to do this? What if this happens? What if this? I already do it. I already live in Huntington. It doesn't matter. And then it's like, it's crazy because you believing that, you thinking that, you telling yourself that, those thoughts go away and you actually get closer to doing that. You actually have the right people reach out to you. You actually have the right opportunities present themselves. But if I sit here and I'm like, oh, well, I got a lease here until this, and then I got this, and what if that happens? You're just literally like, if this is you, this is your goal, this is you, say you're like right here, the more you think about how it's going to happen, the more you're pulling yourself away. But when you just say, I'm doing it, 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 it works. There's no better way for me to explain that. It works. It's hard to do because you want to control every little detail. But let me tell you, we are spiritual beings living in the physical world. So if you are living by your senses, if you are using what your physical senses tell you to determine the life you are living, you are only using your physical self. You are not accessing your spiritual abilities. If you want to make major changes, if you want to perform, if you want to live whatever life you want to live, you're going to have to tap into your spiritual abilities. So if you're living spiritually, you cannot be of this world. That's what it says in the Bible. Do not be of this world. That does not mean to run off this planet. That's not what it means. It means you can't live of this world. You have to live from your spiritual perspective. Because if you live in your spirit and you see everything and you understand God fulfills anything you want. You can achieve anything. You can do anything. You are powerful. When you have these beliefs and you live spiritually and you see the future, you see the life you want to live, you will achieve it. But if you live by the physical world, you never will. You'll grind your way up to the top. Force. Takes you 40 years and then all of a sudden you're retired. Like, I'm showing you how to do it when you're 20 years old. 20 years old. I don't care how old you are, you can do this. Like, I don't know. I think once I move, people will start to see like, okay, he really changed his life. I don't know. Maybe it's going to take a Lambo or something. I don't know what it's going to take for people to really listen, but I'm just trying to help you guys. This has really changed my life. I know it sounds cringy, but my life was not headed in this direction at all less than 6 months ago. That's what it takes. 6 months. I'd say 6 months is what it takes. But it's a lot of time. All day, every day. I'm working toward it. All day, every day. If I'm physically working, I'm listening to a seminar. If I'm not physically working, I'm either working on my group, I'm trading, I'm reading, I'm watching seminars, I'm at the gym, I'm doing something productive. I'm never just chilling. You don't have time to chill if you're not where you want to be. That is probably the biggest thing I can say. You don't have time to chill if you don't. This is what I did when I said I want to change my life. I said, okay, I want my actions to align with my desired results. So I deleted Snapchat. I put a 30-minute time. I deleted TikTok. I put a 30-minute timer on Instagram and Snapchat combined. So like 15 minutes each. And I literally, if I wasn't actively doing something like friends, family, whatever, I was reading or I was watching seminars on my computer. My phone would not even be on my desk. And that's how you have to live, because you need to think. You need to be learning. You need to be filling your mind with good stuff to reprogram it. That's how you're going to change, when you reprogram your mind. It's all about your mind. It's not about the physical skill. So many people say they want to change. They want to make a bunch of money, but they're only worried about the actual skill. The skill will not make you the money. I'm telling you this. I can't stress this enough. Because when you have the mindset, it doesn't matter what skill you have, you will make as much money as you want if you have the mindset. If you have two people working the same, there could be two businesses working next door to each other, running the same exact business. One could be booming and one could be going bankrupt. They could be right next door, same business, same everything. What's the difference? The mindset of the person with the busy business, the person who's nonstop working, who's nonstop having new clients, who's nonstop making tons of money. He has a mindset. He sees his business as a successful business. He sees himself as someone who makes a lot of money. He sees himself as someone who is providing service to thousands of people. And the guy who doesn't have any clients, He sees himself as slow. He says nobody ever comes to my shop. Nobody ever asks me. Nobody ever calls me. Yeah, say it, right? You're planting everything you say now is planting a seed for the future. So if you're always saying nobody calls me, you're just planting the seed over and over and over and over and pushing that further and further out. So if you want change, you have to plant the seed now so that in a few months you can reap the benefit of that seed. That is the season I am entering. I'm entering the season where I planted all these seeds the last few months, and now I'm starting to live in the reality I created. And like that's as real as it gets. So life's about to get really crazy. Things are about to speed up really fast. I'm moving in less than 2 months, and life's crazy. So, anyways, I'm gonna cut this here. So, if you want to join my group, DM me, message me, text me, whatever. We can talk, get on a call. It's a trading and mindset group, so I give you 10 one-on-one calls. You can use those to learn more about the strategy for trading, or you can use them with me to work with you directly for the mindset part of it, which I think is the most important part. I think the mindset's where you're going to get the most value, but use them as you wish. I also have a full course going over the strategy. I do live trading every day. I give all my alerts. It's literally the full package. It's everything you need. So if you're interested in that, just message me and we can hop on a call and see if that's a good fit for you. But that's all. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, thanks for watching.